This is a city built for 700,000 people. It costs $100 billion to construct. Right now, only 9,000 people live here. The streets are silent. The shops never opened. The apartments sit empty. And at night, when the sun goes down, the entire city goes dark. This is Forest City, Malaysia, the most expensive ghost town in human history, and the story of how it died. It gets worse. Let's go back to 2016. China's biggest property developer, Country Garden, unveils something extraordinary on the coast of Malaysia, Forest City. For artificial islands, 7,000 acres of reclaimed land, luxury apartments with vertical gardens climbing up every tower, a water park, golf courses, schools, hospitals, everything you'd need for a complete life. And the price? Just $170,000 for a two-bedroom apartment with an ocean view. That's cheap for waterfront property anywhere near Singapore. The target market: China's rising middle class, people who wanted to park their wealth overseas, buy a vacation home abroad, and maybe rent it out to locals. The Malaysian government backed it. The Sultan of Johor personally endorsed it. Country Garden had unlimited financing. Everything was in place. On paper, this was a guaranteed success. Construction began in 2014. By 2016, the first buildings were ready. Sales were booming. Investors from Beijing to Shanghai were buying apartments sight unseen. Forest City was supposed to be Malaysia's answer to Singapore, a futuristic eco-paradise, a new economic hub for Southeast Asia. Instead, it became a cautionary tale about what happens when ambition meets reality. So, what went wrong? 3 things happened almost simultaneously, and each one was catastrophic. First, China pulled the plug. But apartments in Forest City cost $100,000 minimum. Overnight, the Chinese buyer pool Forest City's entire market vanished. Second, Malaysia turned hostile. In 2018, then Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad publicly stated that Forest City was not for foreigners. Only Malaysian citizens could buy property there. This was devastating because the project was never marketed to Malaysians. Third, COVID-19 sealed the coffin. Borders closed in 2020. International buyers disappeared. Construction slowed. Natsmi Hanafaya moved to Forest City in 2017. He lasted 6 months. He told the BBC, "Just coming back gives me goosebumps. I didn't care about my deposit. I didn't care about the money. I just had to get out." Where every restaurant is closed, where the beach has warning signs about crocodiles, and literally no one else is there. One resident described it as eerily dystopian. Another said after midnight, you should take a stroll just to see how empty it really is. The environmental groups say the damage is irreversible. The seagrass meadows, the largest in Malaysia, are gone. The coastal wetlands, destroyed. Forest City didn't just fail as a real estate project, it failed as an ecological disaster with a price tag. The judge? Linda Chan, notorious for liquidating Evergrande, another Chinese mega-developer. Country Garden fought desperately to avoid liquidation. They got extensions. But even that may not be enough. The company still has 200,000 unfinished apartments and over 3,000 ongoing projects across China. Their annual sales dropped 73%. They went from the #1 developer in China to number 16 in 1 year. And for a city it seats Dere, maintained but empty, a $100 billion monument to hubris. Here's the twist. Malaysia hasn't given up. In 2024, the government designated Forest City as Malaysia's first tax-free special financial zone. Zero corporate tax, visa, incentives. They're trying to attract global financial firms, family offices, and tech companies. As of 2025, over 30 investors have expressed interest in setting up operations there. But here's the reality. Even if companies move in, this was designed as a residential city. The apartments are still empty. Forest City was supposed to prove that China's economic miracle could export itself anywhere. That ambition and capital were all you needed to build a city from scratch. Instead, it proved the opposite. You can't build a city for people who aren't allowed to buy. You can't sustain a metropolis with no